There is no useless experience, as read by the author. Lesson 9. What you see in people is exactly what you will get. You are not special. It is said that one should always be on the lookout for how people treat other people, especially the ones who are subservient to them, whether it be waiters at a restaurant, watchmen, gardeners, nannies, etc. Pay close attention to that. One of the biggest fallacies I had about myself as a young man was that I was special. I was privileged to be well-spoken, and my parents, especially my dad, knew a lot of important people. So as a result, I got to rub shoulders with some well-known and well-to-do people in society. In the year 2016, I was recruited by a gentleman in Eldoret who wanted to start a TV station. He was the first guy who expressed his admiration of my talents and who seemed to have real confidence in my abilities. This guy was a very talented individual, an entrepreneur who was a shrewd and adept businessman. However, he had a history of non-payment of workers' salaries or wages, and I was aware of it. In fact, one of the gentlemen I greatly respect, who was an elder in my local church, took me for tea and with much concern implored me against taking this assignment. Even so, because I got along with this businessman and we had great conversations, I imagined I was special. That was a big mistake, for which I almost paid for with the loss of my livelihood. A few weeks into this assignment, I began to undertake a lot of night travel by bus, back and forth from Nairobi to Eldoret every weekend, and I soon realized I was drowning financially. He hadn't paid a single cent, and even though we had gotten the TV station up and running, there was no future in terms of financial stability. The gentleman was urging me to quit my job and come on board full-time. About the same time, he began making unwanted overtures on my wife. She tried to tell me about it, but I could not believe that this gentleman would possibly do such a thing to me, because we were, quote, brothers, end quote. She had to record a phone conversation with him to prove it to me. That was how much I trusted this man, disbelieving my own wife. When she provided the evidence, I was livid and totally hit the roof. I quit in a huff and threatened to expose him for this impropriety. The matter ended up in a tabloid newspaper outlet. Shortly after, he hired 6 top lawyers to sue me for alleged defamation and went ahead to threaten my family. He even drove to my place of employment to allege I had stolen from him so that I could be fired. The threats and drama only ended when I sent him and his lawyers a rebuttal, complete with a recording of what he had said on phone and threatened to release it to the world. However, I had to acknowledge to myself that it was all my fault. I knew he had a long history of defaulted payments and distasteful indulgences. I thought I was special, talented, or even extraordinary. And I almost lost everything because of this stupid assumption and illusion of self-importance. I learned an important lesson. Pay great attention to the reputation of the people you get involved with, especially in business. Watch their interactions and verify truth from rumor. Once you're in their inner circle, it's easy to know what is truth and what is rumor. We are only good actors to a certain point. Once you know that your potential acquaintances or business partners tend to have unscrupulous behavior, regardless of the success they may enjoy in their field, don't forget that they got this way through a long history of misusing, hurting, and abusing people on their way up. Do not, for 1 minute, imagine that you would be treated in any way special. Do not, for 1 minute, imagine that you would be in any way so special as to be treated differently from what it is in their nature to do. What you see is exactly what you will get. Believe your eyes.